Check it out, YouTube. Smokey back here, and I have to apologize from my last video I did. I'm sorry. It's a little ill prepared for that one. I'm sorry. Um, I look back at that and I realize how repetitive it was. So I guess I'll just really try and get my message out there. Though it's the same message just over and over again. I apologize for that. So moving on from that now. Today, talking about movies. Yes, movies. But I'm gonna be talking about certain movies that are gonna be coming out and ones that are in works in right now. And the first ones I'm gonna talk about my favorite ones, which are superheroes. And as you can tell from my my background, yeah, pretty big hero fan right here. Mostly in Marvel. But yeah, got my walls almost covered in Marvel. Don't have any DC. I mean, I like DC. Don't get me wrong. Especially what happened with the Man of Steel, blew me away, and especially the Batman trilogy. DC's a little bit redeeming themselves after Green Lantern and Superman Returns and and Jonah Hex. Kind of going downhill, but Batman was trying to keep DC up, and now Superman's coming back to help him out. Which brings me to my first topic is about superheroes, about Superman. From what I've heard, is that supposedly they're going to be working on Man of Steel 2, which will then probably lead up to Justice League. Yes, which will probably lead up to Justice League, and not only that, but also there also talks about a Batman reboot because of The Dark Knight's done. They want to try and make a Batman that's going to lead up to Justice League as well. I think what DC is doing is they're trying to do the same thing Marvel did with leading up to the Avengers and all. And I really believe that I'm kind of excited and not excited for the Batman reboot because it depends on who they get to play as the Batman. Christian Bale did a phenomenal job. No one else can play Batman like him. And, all the other Batman movies that were horrible with George Clooney playing as them, no offense, but no George, no. Just stay out of heroes for us, please. Thank you. And also, other things I've been hearing about is that they are supposedly making an Aquaman and Wonder Woman and a Flash movie to do, I think either, I want to say it's going to be after Justice League or before Justice League. It's one of those two. I'm pretty sure that after the Justice League movie, they're going to do their own movies, and they're also definitely going to do a reboot on the Green Lantern because, no offense, but Ryan Reynolds, you did a good job, but just stay as Deadpool. Just stay as Deadpool. Don't go as Green Lantern. That's a horrible movie. Don't get hopes up. Literally, here's my hopes right here. Here's my hopes. And DC, with that Green Lantern movie, you took a giant dump on my hopes. A giant dump on my hopes. I had to clean that all off. Now, thanks to the Batman trilogies that cleaned it off. Still a little dirty though. Still a little dirty. But that Man of Steel cleaned it off completely. I thank you. But yes, Green Lantern took a giant shit. A giant shit. On my hopes right here. My hopes. I took a giant shit. I'm sorry. But other hero news so far of what I'm hearing is Mark Ruffalo, the person playing the Hulk in the Avengers movie, definitely going to be back in Avengers 2 and Avengers 3 from what I hear. But also not only that, he is signed up to do 6 other Hulk movies. I want to see what they're going to do with that because I would like to see a Planet Hulk movie. That would be pretty cool. So help me if they bring in Red Hulk or whatever characters from the Hulk comic books. I would like to see Sakaar, son of Hulk. Like to see that. But yeah, supposedly, from also here is that they are definitely going to be doing a Doctor Strange movie in Phase 3 of Marvel Productions. But not only that, but also saying that the Doctor Strange is supposed to replace Iron Man. Doctor Strange being the face of Marvel, besides Spider-Man. That's what I heard. Don't know if it's true or not, but that's just rumors so far. They haven't casted who's going to play as Doctor Who yet, but they already announced, you can already imagine the original villain for the only person who can face Doctor Who so far that you may think of is already Dormammu. I would love to see how they're going to do that. And see how they're going to make that story. You know who I'd like to see as Doctor Strange? If you know him, anybody knows Doctor Strange, I'd like to see Keanu Reeves. Yeah, Neo, Matrix. I can see him playing Neo. Or not Neo, Doctor Strange. I can see him play Stephen Strange. Of course he played Neo. I'm an idiot. But, yes. Keanu Reeves, if you're watching this, please, dear God, play Doctor Strange. Please. Sorry, awkward stare. But also other news in hero business now. Let's go on to how also Guardians of the Galaxy now, they have a brilliant cast so far from what I hear. They have Batista playing as Drax. And they have other characters too I haven't heard of, but one familiar guy, the guy who did the voice of Wreck-It Ralph and the Talladega Nights of Ricky Bobby, his best friend, Shake and Bake. He's supposed to play. I would probably like to see. I'm probably gonna see him play either the voice of Rocket Raccoon or the voice of Groot. One of those two, I know that for sure. I know he's probably gonna be doing a voice. I know that. But yes, so Days of X-Men. I cannot wait to see what you guys are gonna do with the Wolverine that's coming out next month in July. I would like to see that. I've seen trailers. It looks pretty cool. One little problem I have is about the Silver Samurai. Don't ever remember Silver Samurai being a giant mech. You know, just like to see a regular guy. You know, silver suit and all. Like I like make the Silver Samurai. But, like, maybe have, like, Stark armor, you know, have, like, Iron Man armor, but silver and Japanese samurai look, you know. That'd be pretty cool. But I can guess I see why they want to make him I really can't see why they make him a giant mech in the first place. I don't. But let's just hope it goes well. Because supposedly it's supposed to take place after X-Men 3 Last Stand, where Logan already killed Dark Phoenix, as most of you have known. And so, yeah, supposedly he's just still trying to run away from his problems and try and get his head straight, and then an old buddy, or not an old buddy, but someone who he saved back in World War II, wants to repay him his debt and try and make him mortal. And then there's a bunch of problems going on, but I like how they have him going back to Japan, where he learns he fights ninjas, man. He fights ninjas and his arch enemy, the Silver Samurai. For those of you who are Wolverine fans, check this movie out. You're going to like it. And about now, next news, also with X-Men. From Days of Futures Past, from what I hear, they already have pictures out of Wolverine rocking a 70s t-shirt look. And also some other photos of the movie as well, I think, are out. But supposedly they are definitely going to have Quicksilver in it. But not only that, but from what I hear is that they're having 2 different kinds of Quicksilvers in 2 different universes. One in X-Men's Day Futures Past, it's going to be played by again, I can't remember the actor's name, but I do know the star from Kick-Ass is going to play the Avengers Quicksilver, and that's going to be pretty cool. I like to see some fast speeding running guy. And I know, and other news of that, what they did that for is because they don't want to tie in the 2 different universes and bring them together like that. They want to have the X-Men Days of Futures Past as one separate universe from the Avengers thing. And they're not going to tie in the 2 Quicksilvers. They're just going to make them 2 different universes. You know, like how they have the Amazing Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, you know, Avengers, Ultimate Avengers, two different universes, you know. So, stay with that. And speaking of Spider-Man now, fans of Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, I'm a little concerned. Just a little concerned. I like what they're doing. From what I hear is Jamie Foxx playing Electro. And there was one interview where he was talking about how fans, if you remember the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and Green Goblin, remember the little song Green Goblin sang for Spider-Man? You know, itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the goblin and washed the spider out. Well, Jamie Foxx was doing an interview, and I heard he was talking about how he was trying to just improvise a certain little intimidation thing to Spider-Man in one scene with CG and everything. But one of the scenes he was going, the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came Electro and washed the spider out. I watched that interview and I was thinking, okay, Electro stealing from Goblin. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. But not only they have an Electro in it, but it's definitely confirmed about how they're having Paul Giamatti playing the role of Rhino. Wonder how they're gonna do that. CG, maybe a robot suit. I don't know. But I can definitely tell, though. I have a feeling that Amazing Spider-Man is gonna lead up to Sinister Six. I have a feeling about this because you know why. First, they introduced Lizard, okay, which was actually technically one of Spider-Man's actual arch enemies in the beginning of the comics. But now they're introducing Electro. Rhino, Osborn's supposed to be in this movie, and also from what I hear, Vulture. Vulture is supposed to have a little appearance in it, but not only that, but also supposedly rumors of a Black Cat baby appearing. Black Cat. But also, they originally had a girl supposedly cast as Mary Jane, but the director felt that he really wanted to focus more on Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker's relationship. They didn't want to get no one involved just yet. So maybe supposedly in Amazing Spider-Man 3 we can see Mary Jane, because they had her originally casted, but then they had to drop her. But then now supposedly what I was hearing is they have another person playing as Mary Jane, and I don't know. That's what I've been hearing so far. It's kind of complicated right now, but yeah. So far, I think Marvel's doing a pretty better job than DC. No offense, DC, but Marvel's pretty much whipping you. Ever since Avengers came out, that was pretty much their right there. Now they're moving on to now Phase 2, which is the Iron Man 3, Thor 2, Captain America 2, and then they're going to supposedly lead up to the Avengers 2. So, you know, it's going to be good. I can tell that for sure. Because from what I hear about, like, a bunch of news about the Thor Dark World that's coming out in about a couple months or so in November this year, is that supposedly his arch enemy is going to be the Dark Elf, and it's playing by I can't remember his name, the actor, but I do know I remember him from any of you Doctor Who fans. He is the Ninth Doctor, and also he played a role as supposedly he played as Loki, the Ice Giant King in Thor for 1, and also he was in G.I. Joe as Despero. Yes. And so, we're going to be seeing this actor again, but as another character now. So, that leads me to ask that what's going to happen now, because supposedly from what I've seen in the trailers is that Thor brings his love, Jane, up to Asgard to show her the world, his world, but then something dark is going around, and now it's gotten complicated, but now it's involving the Dark Elves, and you can tell by the title of the movie, if you true Marvel comic fans and you know a story about Thor, you would know if the title itself says Dark World, it's going to involve the Dark Elves. And not only that, but also in the trailer, you guys saw it, I was amazed by it, the UK trailer. Thor goes solo to get help. He goes and gets Loki's help. And I love the part where he says, If you ever betray me in this fight whatsoever, I will not hesitate to kill you. And Loki is just sitting in this cell, just like, where do we begin? You know? So I'm psyched. You know, I'm really psyched for this movie as a Marvel fan. I like Marvel so far, and DC's gonna get me a little bit interested now. Ever since Man of Steel and the Dark Knight trilogy, I'm getting a little excited now. I want to see what DC's gonna do to try to redeem themselves. But not only that, Marvel is gonna be doing a lot of reboots from what I hear. Supposedly a reboot of Daredevil, and a definitely reboot on the Fantastic Four. Let's face it, fans. Fantastic Four, first one, okay. It was okay. Like, it was fun to watch, but it wasn't really based on the comics, you know, like how some of these other ones were. How some of these origins start. But when it was Rise of Silver Surfer, if you're all true hero fans like I am, you understand that Galactus looks nothing like they did in that movie. He was on some giant cloud with some kind of energy force inside the cloud. No, he's a big giant demigod, you know? And he's a super powerful being that they should have made him an actual being. But no, the director didn't like it. They didn't want to show Galactus like that because, for what reason? The director does not like giant robots. Quote by quote, he said that. He does not like giant robots in his movies. First of all, let me tell you this. Galactus is not a giant robot. He is a super giant being who can literally eat planets. Now, maybe the cloud could have been like his space shuttle, maybe? I could have maybe seen that if they actually made a giant metal ship. And not, you know, giant clouds for swarming the planet and all this, you know. I didn't know. I would like them. I would like them to do a Fantastic Four reboot, because those movies just, again, they got my hopes up here. DC, you're not the only ones who took a giant crap on my hope platter. But when the Fantastic Four movie came out, I really liked it. And then there was some of its flaws, and like little lumps of crap started forming on my plate. I'm like, oh. Then Silver Surfer came out. I thought that was gonna be really cool because now they're introducing Silver Surfer. Oh my god, that's gonna be cool. And then when I saw Galactus, I was like, what? Larger pieces of crap on my plate. And Doctor Doom supposedly gets involved. I don't know how, but apparently he's interested because he gets bring back to life by the cosmic power of the Silver Surfer. It's so amazing. Oh. But no. In other news of superheroes, my friends, supposedly, what I hear is that rumors going around about Armie Hammer, the one who was playing the Lone Ranger, the Disney's Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp as Tonto. Armie Hammer may be Ant-Man. Ant-Man. Been a long time since we heard from you. Be good to hear from, you know? Just saying. But, yeah. And not only, well, that'd be pretty cool, but supposedly, from what I remember, is that there's been rumors about stuff, and I do know that definitely they already have shots of what Captain America is going to look like in his next movie. They gave him a completely new look. He has like a darker bluer outfit, and they also have pictures of Winter Soldier, which I can't wait to see because he looks pretty cool. Want to see how Bucky survives and all. Oh, speaking of surviving, any of you Marvel fans out there, and especially Avengers fans, you remember Agent Coulson who supposedly died. Yet, in the show that's going to be coming out soon in the fall on ABC, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you see Agent Coulson alive? What be this madness, you ask of? Well, I do not know yet, but I want to see how they did that. If that's really Phil Coulson, or is that a clone, or an android, or what? Or did they just fake his death to push the team, as Nick Fury said? The push that they really needed. Very clever, Nick. Very clever. But yeah. So that's what I got so far on my news on superheroes so far. But yeah, I would definitely like to see Mark Ruffalo see what he's gonna do with his Hulk roles, and I would definitely like to see a Hulk, Planet Hulk, and a World War Hulk. That would be amazing to see what they're gonna do with that. If they ever do that, I would just thank you, Marvel. And with the Amazing Spider-Man movie 2 that's coming out, Spider-Man has a new look supposedly. His eyes are gonna be yellow; they're gonna be white. But only problem I have about it, about the villains that are coming into it, though, I have a bad feeling though, because ever since Spider-Man 3 with Sam Raimi, if any of you remember that was literally I got my hopes up because it shows Spider-Man with the black costume coming out, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Venom! Oh, I want to see Venom, yeah! But when I saw the movie, I was like, no, no, that's not Venom, no! But again, big plate of hopes right here for this movie. I got my hopes up for really right here. And then pound by pound and pound of giant pieces of shit. They took one big one on this, and they disappointed with so many villains. I love the character they brought in, Sandman. What I would have liked to do, or if I was director of it, I would have directed like this. Let's have him face Sandman, and maybe Hobgoblin, and maybe... So, okay, so supposedly it wasn't supposed to be Hobgoblin, it was supposed to be Goblin Jr. Same kind of thing, I don't know. But let's have him face them two, okay? Let's just have him face them two. And then at the end, maybe at the end, let's have him get the symbiote suit to beat Sandman. Then we can take off from there and go to Spider-Man 4 and have him face actual Venom and himself with the black suit and blah blah blah, you know. But no, Sam Raimi, there has been a lot of things going on with this too. Either that it was Sam Raimi's fault, it was the studio's fault, one of the two. The studio it was the studio that did put Venom in the movie. Sam Raimi did not want to, but the studio forced him on him. So okay, it's Venom's in his hands now. What can he do to make this a good movie now? What can he do? He is trying to form it and see what this goes here and there, and let's put it there, or no, wait, let's do this or that, you know? But no. He just had it in his hands like this, like a precious little egg in his hands. He wanted to see, okay, what can I make this, you know? What can I make this into? So he starts thinking about it, and more, and he starts to close his hands on it now. He's thinking, okay, this is what we're going to do. He sets it, and then he drops the egg, and now it was a big disaster. And then because of Spider-Man 3, they couldn't do a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. That's why they did The Amazing Spider-Man, which I'm actually quite happy about. I am. Yeah. And Iron Man 3 now. Let's get on Iron Man 3. There's been many feelings about this. I have mixed feelings for it because I'm glad they did it. But if any of you saw the Iron Man 3 movie, you would know what I'm talking about when I got disappointed at that one part of the movie about the Mandarin. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, but, hold on. I was starting to get a little dry. Okay, so, let me tell you this. If any of you haven't seen it, you're going to see it on DVD anyways, but I'm just going to tell you this now. And if those of you seen it, thank you, but I was a little disappointed. I really would have liked to see Mandarin with those magic rings, magic alien rings, you know? But no, it just turns out to be someone else. It's like you have Mandarin as a puppet, and then the actual guy is pulling the puppet. So, yeah. But that's all for what I've had to say so far. I mean, other than that, Iron Man 3, I don't know. I liked it. It was good. But they could have done, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings for the movie. kind of a little disappointed too. But they do say at the end that Stark is supposed to be back. So we'll see if Iron Man 4 is going to come. But there was rumors I heard, and I didn't believe it because it's online. You don't really believe anything online, you know. From what I heard is that Robert Downey Jr. isn't supposed to play the role of Iron Man anymore, which I couldn't really believe myself. I was like, who's going to play him now? Who? And that's when it hit me. I'm like, you know what? I think I know who. And you know what? I don't believe it. I'm just going to wait a while longer to see if this is actually true. Then it comes down to paper saying that Tony Stark is signed up for not Iron Man, but he signed up for Avengers 2 and Avengers 3. So I'm like, okay, it's confirmed. He's staying as Iron Man. Good to go. Okay. The only problem is if you saw the end of the movie, though, if you saw what happens to his, yeah, for those who saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But when that got taken out, what now? Because that's what made him Iron Man. You know, that's what made him Iron Man. Now what? Since he got rid of it, and now he has, you know, again, I want to see what Marvel is going to do with this, but I wish DC the best of luck what they're going to do with their movies. Because supposedly, from what I heard, I thought they were going to do like what Marvel's doing is leave something at the end of the credits to lead up to their big movie. I thought, but no, that's what they're going to do after Man of Steel. They're going to do that with their other movies of DC and leave something at the end of it to lead up to their big movie, the Justice League. It's not going to be as big as Avengers because Avengers was the first team to come together with those superheroes coming together. And that was amazing. And now at the end of that trailer, not the end of the trailer, but the end of that movie, Thanos, oh my god. Coming as a comic book fan, I am surprised. And coming as a Marvel fan, oh my god, I want to see what they're going to do with Thanos now. Because now, they don't have to worry about anything, because they have a team now. But now, what's going to bring them all back together? What's going to bring them back, you know? What's going to bring them back? But, like, how is Thanos going to bring them together again? What's going to bring them up? Because supposedly, from what I hear about, from what I hear is, it's going to be happening in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to have Thanos come in, not as the main villain, but something maybe towards the end I can see. And then that's how they're going to bring him in, you know? I want to see that. Marvel, don't disappoint us, Marvel fans, okay? In DC, I wish you guys the best of luck in your superhero department, okay? Just promise us one thing, DC. Don't have Megan Fox as Wonder Woman. Don't have her. No. That's all I gotta say. Just no. Yeah. Well, enough about me, my YouTube fans. I wish you all a good day. And not only that, but also, you know what to do. Hit like, share, comment, and subscribe, my fellow Smoky believers, if you want to hear more news and any other opinion on topics I come up with. And I thank you. But now, if you guys ever wanted to hit me up about stuff, I'd be more than happy to help you out, you know. So, just letting y'all know, till next time, Smokey out, and in the name of Marvel, Excelsior.